Stand
good.
by. It's a very good afternoon, a very blessed Thursday indeed. As you know, every Thursday I come here to bring you great, wonderful, powerful guests. And it's been a minute, it's been a while since we've been on this platform. I'm very excited to be back with you, our viewers, our listeners right here on Africa USA Radio. And you've just tuned in to Living Precepts with me, your host, Naomi Wesi. And I have a beautiful, beautiful lady with me right here on the show, whom I'll be chatting with. And today, I'm not chatting with authors, I'm chatting with one of the most powerful businesswomen that we have in our country and who is making an impact and a difference through her business in our country. And we're just going to get to know her more up close and personal. She goes by the name of Usis Nolwazi Zigoxo. Zigoxo, right? I don't know if I said it right, but you'll correct me if I said it wrong. She's a beautiful woman, as you can see. She's a powerful woman. She's not just a beautiful woman, but she's a woman with brains, and you'll get to know more about her as we chat about her business. She's a managing director of the company that she founded called Zigo Credit Management Boutique, which is a company she started which deals more with credit management. And she's going to be telling us more about that. But before we start, let's just start by introducing her as she comes in and as she tells us who she is, where she hails from, so that you can have a little brief background of who Usis Nolwazi Zigoxo is. A very warm welcome, Sis Nolwazi, to Africa USA Radio, to Living Precepts. I'm excited to have you right here on this platform.
Thank you, Naomi. Greetings to you and the listeners of Africa USA. Thank you so much for inviting me today. It's such a great honor. Thank you.
Yeah.
And yes, you've said it well. It's Zigogo.
Zigoxo. You know, I'm not Xhosa, so I'm learning. I'm familiarizing myself. You know,
And indeed, you are learning.
with the
Now you've
language.
said it very well.
Exactly. So the more I interview people like you who are Xhosa, then at least I get to get a little bit of practice of how to say this Xhosa words. You know, I may
With the
fumble a bit
clicks.
here and there, but I know I'm close. You know, I'm getting
Yes,
there. I'm getting there
definitely
definitely.
you are.
Yeah. So
Yes.
tell us a bit about your background. Who this Nolwazi is? Where are you from? And what? Just a brief background so that people can get to know who you are,
No,
especially our
yes,
viewers and our
yes.
listeners who are engaging with you for the first time on this platform.
Unolwazi is a daughter, a sister, a mother, and a wife. I was born in Queenstown,
Mm.
a rural area in the Eastern Cape. I grew up in Queenstown and Cape Town.
Okay.
um, because my mother moved to Cape Town when we were still very young for greener pastures. So
Mm.
we also moved with her. So I grew up between Eastern Cape and Queenstown. Currently, I'm residing in Port Elizabeth with my husband and my children. That is
Mm.
where also my business is based. But
Okay.
due to the fact that before starting this business, I was in the military for quite a number of years. So I've
Yeah,
moved
yeah.
around the country quite a lot. I've been to a lot of cities. But
Mm,
originally, Unolwazi is from Eastern Cape, in Queenstown. That's where I was born. That's where I spent my early years, and then finishing off my high school in Cape Town.
mm. And
Yes.
I saw, as you said on your profile, that you have an extensive military experience, 15 years being in the military, right?
Yes.
At,
Yes.
in SA Navy. Tell
Yes.
us a bit about your experience in the military and moving from working in the military for so long and transitioning
Mm,
business. How was that?
mm,
How did it feel like to have that kind of transition? Was it were there challenges that you met
mm,
along the way, and what actually influenced you? What actually led you to move from the military space to the business
mm.
space?
You know what, Naomi? I would like to start by mentioning that being in the military was not in my plans.
Oh,
But I think, yes, it's not
okay.
something that I grew up aspiring to do, no. But I
Yeah.
think it was God's plan. Because what happened is, as I mentioned, I was raised by a single parent, my mother. We are two girls.
Mm,
Now, when it came to when I was doing matric, my sister, my elder sister as well, was also repeating her grade 12. So my
mhm,
mother made it
mhm.
clear that I can only afford to take one of you to tertiary. I do not have funds
Oh,
for the both
oh,
of you. So
mm,
I was the one back in our days. If you were doing maths and science, you were considered
mm.
the clever one, and you will get more opportunities. I don't know
True.
if you if you
Yeah,
can
it was
relate to that.
different.
So it was an obvious thing that you are the one that's doing maths and science. You need to start outsourcing bursaries. You need to start
Yeah.
making plan B of getting funding, because I'll only
Mm,
be able to find your sister. So I thought to myself, okay, initially I wanted to be a doctor.
okay.
So, and I was getting good grades. So I thought to myself, I'm going to get a
Mm,
bursary, go and study medicine. So military
mm.
was not in my plans.
Sure.
So when the recruitment team from the SNDF came to our school, they came for the first time, and I did not apply because it's not something that I wanted. A couple of months later, they came back to our school to
Mm.
inform us that those who applied, somewhere, somehow, they had lost all that information. Now they just
Sure.
Yes, now they just wanted a list of everyone who applied when they came
Mm.
to our school initially. And by
Mhm.
that time, I was not doing so well with my grades. I could see that the chances of getting this bursary
Are very slim.
are very slim. So I had to make plan B. When they came back the second time, it was as if they came back for me. So
Okay.
I gave in my name as thinking to myself, this is plan B. If by the end of the year
Mm.
I don't get the good grades to get a bursary, then I will go to the military. And lo and
Mhm.
behold, that's what happened. I did not get the
Sure.
grades as I had planned, and then the
Yeah.
military became my second option. I went for the
Oh.
interviews. Yes, I went for the assessments, the interviews. Everything went so well.
Mm.
I
Mm.
fully believe that it was not in my plans, but it was in God's plan.
God's plans. It was
Yes,
God ordering your
it
steps
was
at that
God
time.
ordering my steps. So when I got into the
Mm.
military, my thinking was still that I'm not going to be here for long. I just
Mm.
want to assist my family financially where I can, and also to further my studies. As soon
Yeah.
as I achieve that, then I will leave to go and start my own business. By then,
Mhm.
already, I had other plans. I was not planning to pursue now the route that I initially had in mind of becoming a doctor. No, I already had other plans. So that's how I
Mm.
got into the military and stayed for 15 years. It was quite
Sure.
challenging for me. I come from a small family.
Mm.
So now you're in an environment with, when we're doing our training, I think we're plus minus 1.5.
Mm.
So from a house of three people, and you find yourself staying with plus minus 30 ladies, So
Yeah.
just from there, it was a shock for me. I had to adapt,
Mm,
yes,
mm,
to that
mm.
environment, and also learn to live with other people from different races, different cultures. Yes. And from there on, we did a few courses in the military.
Mm,
And yes, that's how I stayed for 15 years. And also, while busy serving in the SA Navy, I decided to pursue my studies, to
mm.
correspond via UNISA. So that, like I mentioned, I had other plans. I knew
Yeah,
it's not going to end here. I've got other
sure,
plans. I
sure.
know where I want to be in the next coming years. So I pursued my studies. I did a few courses with other tertiary institutions. I was also corresponding with UNISA. I just completed my degree recently.
Mm.
So, yes, that's how it
Wow,
was before
congratulations.
venturing into business.
Sure, sure. You seem
Yeah.
to be a woman who has always been a visionary, who has always had a vision about her
Mm,
life in terms of where you want to go, what you want to accomplish. And it's very inspiring
mm,
to see that you have not settled for where you are, but you've always
yes.
known that you were destined for more, even though you
Mm,
started where you never anticipated that you would be. As you said,
mm,
that
mm,
you never thought you will end up in military. It was God ordering your steps,
mm,
but you were actually open enough to the
mm,
leading of where God was leading you, because sometimes we get so adamant with what we
yes.
want, and not give God that space where He lets us
Mm,
be in the platforms where He will prepare us until we are ready for Him to usher us
mm,
into
yes,
what He
that's
has
true.
ultimately predestined us to
Mm,
be. But I'm wondering, I'm looking at these years, 15 years in the military, being there when it wasn't even your initial dream.
mm, mm,
How are you able to survive, make it through that
mm,
15 years, still
mm,
knowing that it was not your ultimate dream that you wanted to?
mm. Like you mentioned, Naomi, I had plans. I had a vision of where I wanted to be with
Mm,
my life. And you know what? As we said, sometimes we have our own plans, but
mm,
God has His own plans for our lives, and we need to find a way to align those two.
mm, mm, mm,
Staying in the military for 15 years, I managed through the support of my family. I had a great
mm.
support at home, and
Okay.
I made it clear to my family exactly what I wanted to achieve.
Mm,
With their support, I managed to serve for those 15 years.
15
And
years.
within the
Mm.
military, that's where I met my husband. Uh,
Oh, wonderful.
yes.
Mm, mm.
I mentioned earlier on that I have been around the country. I've worked in different provinces.
Right.
Yes, I was based in different provinces, and I met my husband in KZN.
Mm, mm,
I can say, Naomi, my entire life is a testimony of God's grace. I make my plans and I submit them to God. And I
mm.
know if it's in line with what He has for me, He will bring it to
Will
pass.
bring
He
it
will
to
make sure
pass.
that it
You will.
succeeds.
You
Yes.
will. You will. You
Going to
will.
KZN, going to KZN, I had been in Cape Town for a number of years since joining the military. Because
Mm,
immediately after training, we are sent to different provinces. And then I found myself back in Cape Town, and I could see that being in Cape Town, the environment that I'm in, it's not working for me. It's not working for
okay.
the plans that
Mm,
now I have for my life. I need to be away from home, away from friends, just so that I can achieve these goals that I have, that I've
mm.
set up for my life. And I prayed about it, and God made it happen. I will not get into the story. It's quite a long
Yeah.
story of how did
Mm,
it for me. So He made it happen. I could see that it was in His plan. I moved to KZN in 2018, in
Mm.
2008, sorry, in 2008. And that's where I got an opportunity to pursue my studies when I moved there.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
where I met my husband.
Mm.
So,
Yes.
as I mentioned, the support of my family, now the support that I get from my husband, because we got married while I was still in the military, while I was
Wow.
still studying. So that
Mm.
meant that now I had to take up other roles. I
Mm.
became a wife, I became a mother,
Mother.
but
Mm.
I did not forget the goals that I had set up for myself. I told myself
Mm.
that I will still achieve these things while
Mm.
I am a mother, I am a wife.
You've
Nothing is
always
going
been
to change.
focused. Always been
Yes,
focused. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with his support, when he came into my life as well, he understood the assignment. He was not going to change anything, but he was going to be the supportive
Mm.
structure that I need. When I
Okay.
needed to study, he was there to take care of the children. When I needed to travel,
Mm.
he was
Mm.
there to make
Mm.
sure that
Mm.
everything is at home is going smoothly. So I have been blessed to have such a strong support structure in my life. I've seen
Mm.
how it has helped me while I was still in the military and how it's helping me now in my business.
Awesome
Without the
stuff.
support of my family, I don't think I would be where I am today.
Mm. Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
So that
Now,
is how I also managed to survive that
okay.
50 years.
That 15 years. And I'm
Yes.
also wondering, we have this perception that when you are a woman in a military, your experience must have been different because we perceive being in the military as
Mm.
a more male dominated uh,
Yes.
industry, if I can
Yes.
put it that way, for the lack of a better word. But
Yes.
as a woman, working in a male dominated industry, how did it feel like? How did it, I'm wondering, how did it feel like all those 15 years working in the military with all these men? And I'm sure there were more men than women, or you can correct me
Yes,
if I'm wrong.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. And funny enough, during our training, yes, obviously there are more men than females, but there are a lot of
Mm,
females. But somehow I was assigned to positions or to departments where it was mostly men than females.
okay.
And in most cases, I was there only until the last post where I was at. I was the only female among men.
Mm.
At
Oh,
first, it was quite a
wow.
challenge, yes. At first, it was quite a challenge because I
Mm,
come from a family where it's mostly women.
mm,
As mentioned, at home, it's just my mother and my sister. You understand? Now,
mm,
I grew up without my father. Now I am deployed to the departments that are mostly men. It was
man,
quite
yeah,
a challenge for me.
I can
Um,
imagine. Mm,
yes, cool. I struggled to relate with them at
mm,
first
mm,
because I'm one person who also didn't have a lot of male friends. So it
yeah.
was yes, something of a culture shock for me. But with God's grace, I managed because those men ended up being my brothers. They ended up
Mm,
being my fathers at work. I will not lie. With all the gentlemen that I've worked with, they treated me
mhm.
well. I
Wow.
did not, yes, I did not
Sure.
experience any form of harassment in the work environment. I
Mm,
was treated very well. They assisted me also with my studies because
sure.
the last department that I worked in, it was the legal department. So I
Okay.
worked with attorneys, I worked with advocates. So at the time, I was still studying law. So they were
Mm,
more than willing to assist me with my studies. It was at
that's
first,
amazing.
yes, at first it was very uncomfortable for me, but through the years I learned to work
Yeah,
with them very well and also to rely on their support.
sure.
Yeah, in
You are
my
one in a million. You are one in a million because most women, they tell you when they work in such environments, they've got different experiences. So it
mm,
shows
mm.
that it's not a one size fits all. We
Yes,
cannot
it's
paint
not.
the same brush on all men and say, you know what, whenever you are in that kind of space that is male dominated, you'll be treated badly
Mm,
as a woman. You are one of those women who can testify and say, I
mm.
had a different
Yes,
experience. And it
definitely.
shows that it's possible for a woman to be in such an environment and still work
Mm,
well, still add value, and still gain respect
correct.
from those
Exactly.
men that you are working with, and even to an extent that they would even add value in your life. Like you say,
Mm,
they would help you with your assignments. They will be your
mm,
fathers. They will be more like brothers in your life,
mm.
you know. And I
That's
wish we
true.
could get to that level where in all industries that
Mm.
could be the trend, that could be the
Yes,
culture,
yes, yeah.
that is prevailing in all industries, where
In all
men
industries.
see women not as their competition or their but they
Mm.
realize that we are there for one another, we are there
Another.
to complement one another, we are there to
Mm.
add value in each
Yes,
other's lives. So I
yeah.
applaud those men that you worked with in the military, who behaved like that, who carried you like that, to the
Mm,
point where
mm,
you can even testify today and say, you know what, I have no
mm.
regrets working with them
Yes.
for that 15 years that I was in the military. Now tell
Very
us, how
true.
did you now we are getting to the cream of the crop now. Your business. Let's talk
Yes,
about your business.
yes.
Transitioning from working in the military to becoming this businesswoman, the founder,
Mm.
the managing director of Zico Credit Management Boutique. How did that
Yes.
happen? How was the
Um,
vision birthed?
Initially, the plan, Naomi, was, as I mentioned earlier on, I had a plan that I wanted to leave the military. I still wanted to serve the people, but in a different manner.
Mm,
I wanted
okay.
to leave the military after a number of years, though there was no time
Mm,
frame set to it. But through my own personal experiences where I struggled with debt, we come from previously disadvantaged families,
yeah. Yeah.
and
Mm,
we talk a lot about black tax.
mhm,
Some of us have experienced such things where you are the only one who is financially stable in the family, and there are a lot of expectations coming to
mm,
you.
mm,
So
mm, mm.
you
Sure.
find yourself falling deep into debt, and you do not know what options you have or how to get yourself out of that situation. So through
Mm,
my own personal experiences, I had an interest of helping people, especially
mm.
with credit management.
Okay.
Through the studies, the courses that I was doing, they assisted me in getting out of debt. So now
Mm.
yes, I wanted to extend that to the other people that are struggling with similar problems. So
Okay.
in 2018, after I completed my course of debt counseling, I
Mm,
decided I do not want to be employed by a certain company as a debt counselor. I want to
mm,
start my own business because I had a vision of how I wanted to help the people. I saw what
mm.
was happening in the debt
Hey,
counseling industry,
hey.
yes,
Mm,
and how
mm,
consumers are over indebted. I had my
mm,
own vision of how I wanted to conduct the business. So in 2019, I made a decision. I was still busy with my LLB at the time. I made the
mm,
decision that I wanted to focus on my business and to complete my studies. And I could see that I could not do that while still employed in the SANTM. So I made a
yeah.
decision to resign. Yes, I made a
Okay.
decision to resign in 2019 and to
Mm.
focus fully on the business. It was not easy at first
Sure. Can
because
imagine. Hey.
now I'm used to getting an income every
Hey.
month or
Of
when
security.
You see, whether I'm sick or I'm on maternity
Yeah,
leave,
yeah,
you
yeah,
understand.
yeah,
On the
yeah,
15th,
yeah.
I know I'm gonna get paid. Now with this
Mm.
one, I am fully depending on the clients that I'll be
Mm.
getting. Yes, it was a big challenge at first, but I trusted God.
Mm.
I knew that if he had been with me all these years, definitely, and
You
this
will.
vision, I know he
Mm.
was also part of this plan, because
Mhm.
there is no way he was going to allow me to take such a big decision if he was not on it. He should
Right,
have shown
right.
me the red flags that this is not going
Mm.
to work out.
Mhm.
Stick to what you
Mm.
are currently doing.
Mm. Mm.
At
Mm.
first, I had
Mm.
the challenges, but I had the support again of my family. My mother was there to support me. My husband was there to support me. I started the business at home in our bedroom with just a laptop.
Mm.
Uh, yes, that is all. And one thing I was sure of is that I've got the knowledge. I've been trained to do this, and I've got the passion for this. I've got the heart for this, and I was
Mm.
sure with that I will make it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to really seek for clients for that long. Through referrals, people started coming to me, started making contact, and I had to make sure that with every client I do my best. I assist them as best as I can, because what I
Mm.
picked up, or what I observed, is that most people get into debt because through they lack financial literacy. They get
Yeah.
into debt
Yeah.
because they do not know how to manage credit. They do not know how to
Mm.
manage their finances. So if we teach them the right tools, they'll be able to manage their finances. And also those who are already over indebted, if we bring them
Mm.
solutions, then they'll be
Mm.
able to get out of that dark corner that they are in. So
Mm.
it was quite
Mm.
a challenge at first, because also
Mm.
managing a business is not easy when you don't have the experience. The only
Mm.
experience I had was in the military, not in business, not
Yeah.
in
I
operating. So
That's
I
why I'm
had
saying I'm wondering how the transition was from the military, being working in the military, to business, to establishing
yes.
yourself as a
Mm,
business owner, as a business manager.
mm,
It must have been very challenging, I'm sure, the
mm,
first few years or whatever. And
mm,
even maybe, like, as you say, talking about your clients, that you had referrals,
mm.
but I'm assuming that when it started, it was not easy for you to establish the clientele. You know,
Yes, yes,
it took a certain momentum. The momentum had to be
yes,
built over time for you to establish
yes.
that kind of clientele that
That's
you
true.
needed.
That's true, Naomi.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but at no stage did I ever think, or do I ever think of giving up. It's
Mm.
something, yes, it's something that does not cross my mind. Even to this day, when I'm experiencing challenges, it's something
Mhm.
that does not cross my mind. Every day, we've been in business now for 4 years. For these four
Yeah.
years, every day I look forward to going to the office. I look forward to serving the people. So it's been God's
Mm.
grace, and I learn something new every day.
Every
Unfortunately,
day.
most
Every
um,
day.
I had to also draw inspiration from
Mm.
other people that are in business, that recently started business, because
Mm. Mm.
honestly,
Mm.
as much as you have passion for the work that you do, once you are in it, you encounter challenges that you did
They
not
will.
think
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You
So
need
when
those people you
reality
can.
hits you,
Yeah. Mm.
yeah, it's
Mm.
like,
Mm.
okay, I didn't know. If I had known before, maybe I wouldn't have taken this journey. But now that you are
Yeah.
in it, you know that this is it. You don't want out. But I draw
Mm.
inspiration from other people. I learn from other entrepreneurs as well. I read books, and I've managed so far to also get partners. So I'm in partnership with some different financial institutions. The business is growing well. I can say that,
Mm.
but it
Mm.
really has
Mm.
not been easy.
Mm. I can imagine. And I just love the spirit that you have that, giving up was
Mhm.
never an option. So I'm
No.
going to ask you now, what has been your secret for not giving up? How have you been able to hold on, and not give up for this long, in spite of the challenges that you went through? Like you mentioned that certainly there were challenges, but you were
Mm.
able to weather through those challenges. How have you been able to do that?
Through the grace of God.
Mm,
Through the grace of God, I pray a lot, and I come from a family of prayer warriors. Like I mentioned, I've got a great support at home. They pray
right.
for me. Yes, they pray
Mm,
for me. They pray for my business, but also I from time to time I have to think back and remind myself of the reason why I started this. Besides
mm,
the fact
mm,
that
mm.
I wanted to help consumers out there to be able to manage their debts,
Right,
to find
right.
financial freedom, I
Yeah.
also wanted to start this journey for myself, for my children. My mother worked as a domestic worker
Mm,
until she was 60 years old. She worked two jobs
mm,
until the
mm,
age of 60. And one regret that she always mentioned was the fact that she never got the chance to do something that she loves or something that she's
mm,
passionate about. She had a duty of raising us.
mm,
So
mm.
she had to make sure that she has an income every month that she's working. She's able
Right.
to maintain our lifestyle. Yes. So
Mm.
I made a promise to myself that I will follow my passion.
Okay.
Getting into the
Okay.
military might not have been in my plans, but I need to
Mm,
find a way of making sure that within this life that I'm given, I get a
mm.
chance to follow my passion and do something
Sure.
that I love. Yes.
Make the most
So
of it.
that my
Yeah.
children can also
Mm.
follow in those footsteps. They don't have to go
Yeah.
into careers that they don't want, just for the sake of making money
Mm,
or for the
mm,
sake of living.
mm,
They can
mm, mm,
also follow their passion, do something that they love, and earn an income out of that. And
mm,
coming from a family where there were no entrepreneurs, I wanted to be that one who changes that.
mm,
So
mm,
it
mm,
was not only about serving the people, but it was also about breaking generational curses in my own family. Yes,
mm.
being the one who starts the things in my own family so that my children and their children can follow into that footsteps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm sure you can safely say you are living your dream.
I am. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you are fulfilled.
Yes.
You look like somebody who is in her space and living her dream, and it's so wonderful to see that
Yes.
somebody can go after their dreams and be fulfilled in spite of their challenges and everything. Now, in this few minutes that we are left with, I've realized that you offer a comprehensive range of
Mm.
services in your company. Can you tell
Yes.
our listeners and our viewers what specifically do you offer in your company, in Zigo Credit Management Boutique, which our viewers, our listeners can actually benefit from?
We specialize in debt review matters.
Mhm.
For consumers that want to apply and enter into debt review. Those are consumers that are over indebted, that cannot meet their monthly installments.
Right.
So when they are in a position where they are about to lose their assets, we assist them with the debt review to protect
Mm.
their houses, their cars. That's basically what debt review is about. We
Sure.
also assist consumers that are trapped into debt review. Um, they've paid up all their debts and now they want to exit the process. We've seen that in the
Mm.
industry, there is a challenge when it comes to that, to exiting debt review. So we
Mm,
assist consumers that have settled all their debts and want to exit debt review. Some consumers, you find that they were put under debt review without their consent. We've got a lot of
mm,
those cases currently. So
okay.
we assist
Yeah.
consumers with that. We also specialize in credit repair program. Credit
Mm,
repair, we assist consumers that are blacklisted. They
mm,
want to clear their names so that they can be able to afford credit and borrow responsibly. Those are the services. We
mm.
also offer a rescission of administration orders. We are working with attorneys, we are working with financial advisors, just to make sure that we offer our consumers everything that they need.
Yeah. I
Yes.
your services are just massive because I believe there are so many people, as you said, that are struggling with debt and they don't know where
Yes.
to go. They don't know where
Mm.
to get help, but you manage to come up with a solution actually
Yes.
for so many people who are struggling in that area. And where are you
Mm.
based? It's Nolwazi. Where is your company based?
We are based in Port Elizabeth, this is Naomi. We are based in
Mm.
Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape, but we are able to assist consumers nationwide.
Okay, that's what I was
We
gonna
also,
ask. Mm.
yes, we also offer coaching, credit coaching for consumers that say, okay, I'm not over indebted, I'm not
Mm.
blacklisted, but I feel that I'm not managing my debt well. I need assistance in managing my debts. We sit down with
Mhm.
those consumers, we assess their current financial circumstances, and we provide them with assistance. We advise them on how to manage their debts. So we do that even telephonically. Those that are not in PE, we are able to reach out to them and assist. And we've been doing
Okay.
that so far. You'll be surprised that most of our clients are not from PE.
Really?
Yes, most of our clients are not
Wow.
from PE. We've got clients from Limpopo province, we've got clients from Gauteng. That's where we get most of our clients.
Okay. So you do it
Yes,
telephonically?
yes, we do that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because
Yes.
I believe that the services that you offer are not the kind of services that can just be limited to, a small type of market
Mm.
or just,
Yes,
yeah, just KZN or the other, just one province. But I believe everybody needs to
yes.
have access to such kind of service. You also have financial. I saw on your bio, you normally conduct financial wellness on
Mm.
Fridays. What is that all about? And how do you do that?
That's an initiative that we recently
Mm,
started. As I mentioned earlier on, we found that most people get into debt due to lack of knowledge. They do
mm,
not have information on how to manage their finances. So we are
mhm,
trying to bring that information to the people. Every Friday, we have interviews with different guest speakers from different industries where they come, and we talk about different topics from making a will, estate planning, investments,
wow,
different topics, just
that's
to bring,
powerful.
yes, just to bring
Mm,
financial literacy to the people.
okay,
So it's an
okay.
initiative that we recently started. We're still continuing with it until
Mm,
end of November.
until end of November.
Yes, until end of
Okay.
November.
So you say it's freshly new. You just started
Yes.
it. You haven't been
We
doing it
just
for.
started it. Yes.
Okay.
We're receiving a lot of inquiries from the people,
Mm,
especially when it comes to buying houses, buying cars, credit life insurance. You find that
mm,
people that we assist, though now they are in a position of managing their finances, they still come back
yeah.
to us and inquire about buying a car. I want to buy a car, but I need to know the pros and cons when it comes to that.
Mm,
I want to buy a
mm,
house, but I don't know which agent to approach. I don't know about
mm,
transfer fees. So they expect
mm,
us to to teach them or to give them information
Mm,
regarding those topics, whereas it's not in our line of work. So we decided,
yeah.
let's bring the specialists in those industries to come and discuss and answer their questions.
Mm. Now, how can people access that information on that platform? Where do you do those financial wellness? Yeah.
It's on our Facebook page, Zigo Credit Management. We have
Mm.
them on our Facebook page. We are working on our YouTube channel at the moment, but they can access all that information on our Facebook page, Zigo
And you,
Credit Management Boutique.
okay, Zigo
Yes,
Credit Management Boutique. That's the
yes,
Facebook page.
that's the Facebook page.
Okay. Can you also give our viewers and our listeners the where can they reach you if they need those services that you just spoke about? Because like you say, you are nationwide and
Yes.
anybody can have access to those services. Maybe there are people who are listening to us right now
Mhm,
and they feel that this is exactly what they need to get out of
mhm,
debt and or to help to
mhm.
get help, in
Yes.
terms of managing their finances. And you could be the one who's holding their breakthrough right now as we speak.
Yes.
So please give them your contact numbers where they can reach you and where they can get access to this services that you're offering.
Thank you, Naomi. We are on Facebook, Zigo Credit Management Boutique. You can inbox me there. Also, you can get in touch with us via WhatsApp on 07 999 You can WhatsApp, you can call us on that number. Between 9 and 4, you will be assisted.
Wow, powerful stuff. Wow, it's been such a pleasure. It's been so great, Sis Nolwazi, chatting with you. Very informative interview indeed. I have personally learned a lot, and I believe that our listeners and our viewers have, benefited so much out of this interview. And I'm sure they'll certainly be reaching out to you to get help, whoever needs help in terms of their financial management, their credit and all that. This is why we do this, so that we can reach out and give people help, so that people can
Mhm,
know that there's help out there. You don't have to
mhm,
live your life hopeless, in debt, not knowing how to get out of it or not knowing how to manage it. There are people like you who have solutions, who have tools that can help our people to actually live a healthy financial life and get their breakthroughs even financially where they are struggling. Thank you so much.
mhm,
And I'm hoping this will not be the last time. I'll be checking you. I'll also be checking the financial wellness Fridays
mhm.
and even,
Yes.
yeah, even your Facebook page. And I'm encouraging even our listeners and our viewers to follow that so that they can get more empowered on
Mhm.
financial awareness. Thank you so much for your contribution and everything that you are doing for our nation. May God increase you. May He enlarge your territory. May He continue to use you more and more to impact those who are struggling financially.
Thank you so much, Sis Naomi. It's been a great honor to be here. And thank you to your listeners as well.
Thank you so much. Stay blessed, eh?
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Sis Nolwazi Zigoxo, powerful woman indeed, who is bringing a solution to our financial struggles, to our financial problems through her company called Zigo Credit Management Boutique. I believe you've learned so much out of this interview, and now you know that there's somebody that you can reach out to. There's a company that you can reach out to if you need help as far as your financial management is concerned. That's where we will leave it at. This is Naomi Wesi saying, May the Lord bless you, may the Lord keep you, may He cause His face to shine upon you and give you peace till we meet again tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on Africa USA Radio. Shalom, shalom.